My name is Anna Taylor. I am the Group Talent Acquisitions Manager with Enterprise Holdings, or Enterprise Rent-A-Car, as most people know. Today is Trunk or Treat Day at the company, so I have my Wonder Woman shirt on. I'll show you guys a video a little bit later that kind of will play into that, but one of the great things about the company is just the fun environment that we are a part of. The agenda really for today, I just want to give you a brief overview of Enterprise Holdings as far as how the company got started, what the training program entails, and specifically those internships that we have not only in the summer, but also in the spring and fall, as that is something new that we have added in or folded in to our hiring over the past couple of years. So I'm going to start out by hopefully playing a video here, and fingers crossed that you guys can hear the audio. If not, please let me know. All right. And we have been busy since 2018. Now we are in over 100 countries, and I will show you our global map. So really, when we acquired National Alamo in 2007, we moved from really, just being that rental car company to really the vision of being more of that global transportation company and giving the consumer many options when it came to their travel. Whether that was through our rental car divisions, so Alamo, Enterprise, or National, as most individuals are aware of those. But we also have a fleet management team. That's an individual that or a branch of our company that really works directly with corporations. Those are, very self-centric roles that we look to hire people into that department or division for, is they're working directly with those decision makers, those CEOs, those CFOs, and really assisting their business. We also have, as many of you hopefully have seen, our truck rental divisions and our car sales divisions, and those are both divisions where we have really found a niche to be able to assist consumers when they're moving. We have those larger vehicles from like the F-250s or 2500s up to those 26-foot box trucks. Our car sales team, of course, once we are finished with the rental side or life cycle of the vehicle, we are selecting typically the top 1 to 2% of those cars to actually sell through our car sales division. And I'm sure most of you didn't know, because I didn't know, Enterprise actually has become the largest buyer and seller of vehicles in North America. So we sell roughly 2 million vehicles. We buy and sell roughly 2 million vehicles a year. A few of our other business lines, as you can see, just depending on what market you're in, that commute rental, we have the exotic car collection. We do have that here in Las Vegas. Your Zim Ride or your car club, where if you're going from point A to point B with a group of individuals, you have those opportunities to jump in with others. Again, another environmentally friendly division of our company. So as we spoke a little bit earlier, we have been busy since 2018. We are now in over 100 countries worldwide. This is a map of what our footprint looks like and where those career opportunities could take you. As far as our financials and a little bit about the company overall and where we ended up last fiscal year, just shy of $26 billion in profit. Of course, 10,000 locations across the world in over 100 countries, making us America's 13th largest company. We have more than 2 million vehicles in our fleet and right around 100,000 employees. A little bit about our philanthropic initiatives. So in 2007, at our 50th anniversary, we came up with the 50 million trees initiative. So we plant 1 million trees a year over the next 50 years to continue to replenish some of those forests that were, burned by fires, as we all see on an annual basis around the state of Nevada. At least, 2 million in disaster relief with the American Red Cross. On our 60th anniversary, which was in 2017, we came up with the Fill Your Tank initiative, which is where we are distributing $10 million annually. Initially, that was over 6 years. We have now upped that to an additional 4 years, making it a 10-year commitment. Still $10 million distributed to those local food banks. So even those here in southern Nevada. So 3 Square is one of them, just to mention one off the top of my head that I can think of that we volunteered at lately. But through our foundation, some of that money has also gone to support them financially. And then of course the Fisher House Foundation scholarships, which is really for families of those US veterans. We had just started a $3 million 3-year commitment to them. So obviously, I know this is a lot of information about the company, but definitely wanted to give you an oversight in regards to that philanthropic piece, which we all really hold very dearly to us here at the company. A little bit about some of our talent statistics, as we have fantastic partners in our colleges and universities. In 2020, we had over 8,000 university graduates that we hired into our sales management trainee program, which I'll touch on that here in just a few. That's really our entry-level customer service and sales position, which has that defined career path into management. Over 2,000 interns have been hired so far this year into our intern programs. This again is really our talent pipeline. So you have that opportunity to really have a peek behind the curtains in regards to what that sales management trainee position really would entail. We have about a 75% conversion rate. So those that come on board and really perform and take advantage of the resources given in that intern program seamlessly transition to that sales management trainee program post-graduation. Enterprise, a little bit about the internal moves and promotions. We are one of the very few companies that promote solely from within. So we've had over 15,000 of those internal moves so far this year. So a little bit about our employees, as I was speaking to a little bit earlier. We do work hard, but we really reward hard work and have a lot of fun at what we do day in and day out. So here are a few of the events. I'm in a couple of these if you look really hard. But pride parades, and one of these, the one where they're freezing in the tent, was a bicycle ride for a nonprofit. Just having fun and kicking off our morning meetings with some monsters or rock stars, or if Red Bull is more your forte, you have that opportunity. And then of course, Christmas up in the corner. The one black screen up here is a video. So I want to show you another video, and we did this over kind of the time frame of COVID, when we were coming out of that swing. So most of this was done in 2020 with a little bit in 2021, but this will give you kind of a glance of what really our people are and how we enjoy what we do. So I'll play a little bit of it and then I will move forward. All right, I'll stop at that. Please don't judge us. We're not dancers by any means. I definitely am not either. So we won't even get to the part where we're in there dancing. But just to give you a little insight, I believe this is one of our European operations as well. Just as large as the organization really is, how close and a family feel that we have on our local levels. So that typical branch that you typically would work in, or that typical location that you would be in, has roughly 5 to 8 employees. That typically will include a manager. You will have around that 200 cars in fleet. They are not always there, which is nice, and I think a surprise for a lot of people, going, well, where are all the vehicles? We try to keep them on the road. We take very much a decentralized approach. So one of the great things about that career path and moving into that management position with enterprise is that you have that opportunity to really run your own business without having to front the money to do so. You are responsible really for that profit and loss component and really running an efficient, effective operation. And we give you those tools throughout your career to be able to do that. So this is that career path that I spoke to. So everyone, even up to our current sitting CEO, actually all 4 of our CEOs that we've had thus far have all started in the management training program. This is that gradual ascension into middle and senior leadership, with those opportunities to move into those other business lines that I spoke to a little bit earlier. If you're looking for that B2B sales, that fleet management team is a great option. Coming into human resources like myself, or going into one of those B2C roles like our car sales or truck teams or truck division, definitely an option as well. So what is a management training? You've heard me say a lot, sales management training, what is that? Again, that entry-level position, very much so, we take a comprehensive, hands-on, on-the-job training approach to really teaching you and giving you the resources to be able to run your own business. So we focus a lot on the customer service, sales and business development, the operations and logistics aspects of the business, the financial analysis, and really the people management side, because we do want to see you as that future leader if we were to bring it into the fold there. So the internship, again, really mirrors that sales management training program. So really you're going to have get to see all aspects of our operation, from the front end, handling the phones, talking to customers, assisting them with their rental, so facilitating that rental process, selling the products that we offer. But you're also going to learn what I call more of that back end of the business, really that fleet control, and how do we have the right car for the right customer at the right time? How are we continuing to grow our market share on a local level? As a manager, we're really going to task you with growing that business. I put a few of my interns actually from my last operating group when we served dinner to the Ronald McDonald House. So that's a few of them from last summer. So I guess 2020 or 2019, I guess it's been 2 years. But something fun to do outside of just being in the rental location. So what are some of the core competencies? Is we're here because I want to give you the information to potentially excite you and interest you in applying to one of the positions that we have. So with the sales management training role, we are looking for that bachelor's degree, no specific degree. For that internship, we are looking for those rising seniors, so graduating typically within the next 2 years, year and a half to 2 years. We're looking for that individual that really has that ability to show empathy and really listen to a customer and be very resolution minded, be able to show some success working in customer service, show some leadership ability. Of course, that sales or persuasiveness, so that ability to really influence others, a great work ethic, flexibility, and of course, communication above all. So it doesn't matter if you're interviewing here with me in Nevada, if you're interviewing with someone in New York, all recruiters, all hiring managers know that these are those competencies, and we know how to really evaluate and really assess those candidates coming through using a behavioral-based interview system. So hopefully I've given you more than enough information about the company and the position. So I do want to show my information. So if you have any questions after this, you can absolutely reach out via email. I would love everyone that's participating today or that watches this in the future, use this tiny URL. I'll give you a few minutes, plug that into your laptop, desktop, phone, if you will upload your information so I can follow up with you in regards to all the great opportunities that our company has open currently. So I'm going to leave that up for a couple minutes and then I will open it up for questions. Oh, perfect. Thank you, Zach. Threw that in the chat if you need it versus typing it in. And I'm going to stop sharing so you can see me. I like it better when I can see everyone as well. All right. Anybody have any questions? I know I'll roll through that fairly quickly. Quiet bunch. Or I was very thorough. How did I come? Okay, great question. So how did I come to work for Enterprise? Of course, you can probably see in the back corner here my wood painting from Texas. So I actually started in the sales management training program just over 14 years ago in Austin, Texas. The little hearts up in Lubbock. I went to school at Texas Tech and got my degree in finance actually, but knew that I really didn't want to sit in a position or be in a career path where I sat behind a desk all day. I had minimal interaction with individuals. So a college friend of mine actually told me about Enterprise. I applied, started as a management trainee. About 9 months later, was promoted to a management assistant while I was at the Austin airport. So I had that exposure to National, Alamo, and the Enterprise rental brands. Was an assistant manager at a couple locations, then a branch manager at a few locations in and around Austin before transitioning over into talent acquisitions. I was in talent acquisitions about a year and a half in Austin before I took a promotion and actually moved with the company. So the company does assist in the relocation of individuals that are willing to raise their hand to take on those opportunities. So in 2017, I relocated to Birmingham, Alabama, where I had responsibilities for the northern part of Alabama in talent acquisitions as the talent acquisitions manager. Was there for almost 3 years. During that time, obviously, the pandemic happened. And so the company shifted some of our responsibilities. So then I got to recruit across all 4 states that we had covered, which was Mississippi, Alabama, Southwest Georgia, and the Panhandle of Florida. That actually gave me more resources and tools and really prepared me to take on the current role that I started last November here in Nevada as the Group Talent Acquisitions Manager. So, you know, when I started out in the training program, no, I absolutely did not think that I would ever end up in HR or in talent acquisitions. But for me, when I was a branch manager, one of the things that I really enjoyed the most was seeing my employees be successful and me being able to give them that information where they saw the light bulb go off and go, oh, that's why we did it, or that's how we did it, or I didn't know that. And so for me, this was just a way when I transitioned over into talent acquisitions to be able to do that with candidates even before, students before they join the company, and really get to see them as new hires and as management trainees. And a lot of them that I've hired, are branch managers, area managers, have other leadership roles in other business lines or divisions. And so that's really been very rewarding for me. The one thing that I've learned from Enterprise, no day is ever the same. I've learned over time to be very adaptable. I thought that I could really navigate change well until I started with Enterprise. So I've learned how to really work in a very fast-paced, very fluid environment, not necessarily be stuck in my ways, even if I'm a subject matter expert, but really to be able to listen to those around me. And that really, keeps me going each day, gives me, something else to think about, and keeps me on my toes and continues to challenge me even 14 years into the company. I have had quite a journey, really great. Again, the company is so supportive when it comes to the relocation process, the promotional process, really that ability to navigate your own career. You get to change careers within the company without having to leave the company. And that's something that not a lot of companies can say. Any advice for applicants? Like, what can we do to stand out? Great question. I think for applicants, what I really like to see is that they've done their homework, they've done their research, they understand the business aspect, but they also understand everything else that kind of goes into the company and what makes the company great. Like I touched on a little bit earlier, some of our philanthropic efforts. I really like when applicants ask me questions about, what are some of your founding values? Which one do you relate with the most closely? What type of philanthropic work do we do more in a local community, and how that would impact them coming on board? For me, that shows that engagement piece. I would also say, and one thing that Enterprise does throughout our interview process is we give you that opportunity to really see what some of those tasks and responsibilities are. So after a candidate interviews with myself or with a talent acquisitions professional within the company, wherever you're at, you have that opportunity to go in to one of our local branches and see what some of those tasks and responsibilities are through an observation. And it's a two-way street. And I will tell you that those individuals that really use that as a way to fact find and really tailor their answers in the interview process to kind of what they see and where their strengths are and how those would relate to our training program, typically are those individuals that we bring on board. Really once you're on board, advice that I always give new hires is ask as many questions as you possibly can. There's no dumb question. I think sometimes we go into places thinking that I shouldn't ask that. No one else has that question. I should know the answer to that. And in our environment, those individuals that typically ask those questions, they narrow that knowledge gap quicker than their peers. And those are those individuals that have that expedited career path. Those are those individuals that become a branch manager before anyone else in their new hire class. So definitely ask those questions. Any other questions? These were good.
Just because I know that a lot of students tend to ask this, I was going to ask, do you look for any particular majors or people with any particular sorts of degrees?
No, and that's a great thing about Enterprise. I will tell you, no, we're not looking for a specific major. Our statistics really are about 50-50. We hire about 51% business majors and 49% everything else. The major is not what makes you successful in the interview process. It's not what makes you successful within the organization. It's what you're able to articulate based on your experience, whether that is through internships, whether that is through work experience, whether that is through student organizations or other community involvement where you've taken on those leadership roles. Military experience, athletic experience. I have a lot of athletes tend to gravitate toward enterprise because, they don't necessarily have that work experience, but they have some of those other core competencies that we talked about. They can work well within a team. They have that leadership ability. They can communicate effectively. They really have that persuasiveness. They have to market themselves these days. Really to be recruited. And so a lot of those parallels. So it's really being able to look at the experience that you do have, even if it's not work experience, and be able to align that with what the position that you're applying to. So I always give a little hint, and this may be slightly off topic, but I always give a little hint to students when I'm doing like mock interviews. Something to do before you go into an interview, look at what the job posting says. Specifically pull that job posting from the company's website and see what some of those responsibilities are, because 99% of the time, the questions that the recruiter or the talent acquisitions individual asks are going to be around what's on that job posting, because those are those core competencies. So you can have some kind of preset answers that you don't necessarily have to come up with right off the top of your head during the interview. So it just makes you feel a little bit more relaxed during that interview. So good question.
Something we preach a lot too is the job description is kind of the study guide for the interview. You know what I mean?
That's
it all
exactly
comes from
right.
there.
It is, very much so. Any other questions? All right. So just another reminder for you guys joining us live. There is that tiny URL in the chat if you don't mind just putting your contact information in there so I can stay in touch with you all. Outside of that, I think we're good.
Thank you so much for your time, Anna. I really appreciate it.
You guys have a great rest of your day.
You too, Anna. Have a great day.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.